it's Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, December 29th. So today we have the moon moving out of Pisces energy, moving into Aries energy. We will have our first quarter moon in Aries, and we also have Mercury going retrograde. So that shift from Pisces energy to Aries energy is always a welcome one. We get to kind of get out of the emotional pool, if you will, the karmic pool that we've been sitting in for the last couple of days, having to bring things full circle, doing a deep dive in our emotions, in our intuition, examining past soul contracts, past soul lessons, and really kind of seeing a different perspective and gaining a different understanding of why certain things had to happen. Very interesting that we are in this particular energy as we are wrapping up the final days of 2022. And of course, when we shift into this Aries energy, we are ripping the rear view mirror off of the car. We are not looking back. We have no want, need, or desire to sit in anything to do with the past, as we are very fixated, very focused on moving forward into the future. Now, granted, we're not really in a time where we can aggress ourselves on the pursuit of happiness, on this new direction, on this new path, but the first quarter moon is always a time of action, a time of aha moments, a time of choices and decisions. So although we might not be out in the world making big moves, we are definitely aligning with a different path, a different perspective in moving forward. So there are 13 different aspects here today, which is a pretty busy day in the cosmos. 10 of them involve the moon. We have Mercury, again, going retrograde, but also making some very important aspects as he kind of shifts gears from moving forward to looking back. The moon will go void, of course, at 1:21 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will move into that Aries energy 5:37 a.m. again Eastern Standard Time, and we are definitely going to feel the highs and lows and everything in between as we move throughout this energetic day. First off, right before the moon is about to kind of make its journey into Aries energy, we have the moon in Pisces making a very, very positive and harmonious aspect with Mars. Mars, of course, is retrograde in Gemini energy. He rules over our physical action, our passions, our desires, our inspirations, even our anger, if we're not careful. And he's a little bit frustrated because he can't move forward in the way that he would like. He's kind of stunted in the moves that he's allowed to make. He is stuck in the intellectual battlefield that Gemini energy rules over, kind of debating between what it is that we want to do, where it is we want to go, where it is that we should be pouring our energy, time, and attention into. Now, granted, this is a good energy, so it means that the moon in Pisces is allowing us to align very strongly with our intuition, to gain vision and insight on our dreams, on our goals. We're living in la la land where anything is possible. And this is definitely the hype energy that we need to be inspired, to get excited. And that's that Mars energy really ramping us up, bringing in new ideas, aligning with one over the other, and really allowing ourselves to be inspired. The moon, right before going void, of course, is going to make a very positive aspect with Pluto. This is highly suggestive that we are feeling a great shift within. We have to shift our mind space. We have to shift our heart space. We have to align the two before we can engage the physical body to go ahead and take the kind of actions that we need to make in our external realm to start mirroring back to us what it is that we've already kind of arrived at in our thoughts and in our emotions. Now, the beautiful thing is that the moon in Pisces essentially brings things to an end, brings things to a close, especially where soul contracts, timelines, storylines, tough love life lessons are concerned, emotions are concerned, because we're really kind of knees deep in the spiritual waters in Pisces energy. And so over the last couple of days, it's been highly emotional. We've had a lot coming at us, and it would suggest that this interaction with Pluto, who is the great transformer, especially on a psychological level, we've had some pretty profound aha moments. We've gained some perspective, we've gained some understanding, and essentially we are shifting Our energy, our vibration, our frequency in our inner realm, our heart and our head are just dancing around doing the cha-cha-cha. We are realizing why we had to go through tough love life lessons, endure the pain, accumulate the wounds, kind of suffer through it in order for us to be pushed into our greatest power. There's a lot of empowerment that comes with this particular energy shift. And as we kind of boss up, that is when the moon goes void, of course. So keep in mind that things get very shaky, very unstable, very uncertain when the moon is void. We want to kind of move away from making any decisions, from committing to anything, from really aligning with a certain thought, a certain emotion, because they are bound to change. Now, while the moon is void at 4:25 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Mercury going retrograde. Now, please listen to the astro forecast that I put out for this particular event. This is our last astro event for December for 2022. It is a major one. It is setting us up for a very interesting dynamic moving into 2023. Of course, we're still in Capricorn energy, the manifesting energy of the zodiac, the karmic energy, if you will. There's still a lot of power in our thoughts, in our ideas, in our words. We have to be very careful. So I would recommend that you get the full story on what Mercury's retrograde in Capricorn is going to be by listening to that astro forecast. So we shift into Aries energy, 5:37 a.m. And at 5:58 a.m., again, Eastern Standard Time, we have the moon in Aries making a semi-square, creating a little bit of a tension, a little bit of a conflict with Uranus, the great awakener, who was retrograde in Taurus energy. So Uranus usually disrupts our plans or disrupts our thoughts or disrupts our emotions. There's a wild card energy that just kind of gets thrown at us where our thoughts and our ideas are really pushing us to open up our mind, open up our heart to change. And Uranus has been retrograde in Taurus for quite some time. And the whole life lesson here is to examine what it is that we are holding on to dear life about. Past version of ourselves, past relationships, old ideas. What is blocking us from moving forward is essentially ourselves holding on to dear life, to some aspects that we're afraid to lose. So having this particular energy create a conflict, it's because the moon in Aries wants us to move forward. We don't want to look back, but Uranus is retrograde, so there is an aspect of looking back. Mercury just went retrograde, so we are looking back. And the tension here is that we're feeling blocked, we're feeling challenged. There are some aspects of our old selves, of our old realities, that are preventing us from moving forward in the way that we would like. This particular energy can create a little bit of frustration, a little bit of agitation, our anxiety or anticipation or excitement levels could be off the charts. Keep in mind with Aries energy, our whole goal is energy management. We don't want to, exert ourselves or act out or throw a tantrum without thinking about the long-term consequences. So we definitely are going to feel this particular tension. Now, something beautiful takes place. The moon in Aries comes up to, sits next to, bumps into Jupiter. Jupiter is about growth, expansion, beliefs, blessings, abundance. He's big. He magnifies everything. He turns the volume all the way up on whatever it is that we're thinking, whatever it is that we're feeling. And he's in Aries energy. He just re-entered into Aries energy on the 20th. So what we get here is a boldness, is a bravery, is a courage that we haven't had before. We are excited. We are anticipating change. We are headstrong. We want to move forward. We want a new reality. We are inspired. We are passionate. We're excited. There's all kinds of good vibes. Now, keep in mind, Jupiter tends to be a little bit extra. So we could definitely turn all the energies up and we could exhaust ourselves. We could act out without thinking. We could be overwhelmed. We could overcommit. We could be overzealous. Now, just make sure that you're still riding the high wave because there is a potential if you ride too high that you're definitely going to feel that crash and burn when that particular energy settles out. Now, Mercury, who just went retrograde, is going to come up to, bump into, sit next to Venus, who is also in Capricorn energy. This is definitely going to kind of put our focus on our relationships. Now, granted, Mercury is retrograde, so we're looking back, we're reflecting, we're revising, we're reviewing, we're realigning, we're recalibrating. We're doing a lot of examining, if you will. And because Venus is about love and relationships and worth and value and money and joy and pleasure, we're really taking a good look at who and what is making us happy or not happy, who and what is supporting us or not supporting us at all, and who and what we actually want to A, take with us, and B, leave behind. There's definitely going to be a major topic, a major theme, a major focus on our relationship dynamics and balancing them out, finding peace within them once again as Mercury is retrograde, because, whatever kind of important aspects Mercury makes while first switching directions is what is going to be our major topics and themes. So bumping into Venus, of course, is going to put a major focus on our relationship dynamics. Venus goes ahead, bumps into Mars in not the nicest way, and in a way that is going to really help us examine where it is that we're out of whack, where it is that we're out of balance. We have the feminine divine energy of Venus. We have the masculine divine energy of Mars. Mars is retrograde, stuck in the intellectual battlefield, giving us choices to debate between. Venus is in Capricorn energy. She's very serious, very somber, very much examining who and what she's taking with her moving forward. And sometimes that means examining where it is that she has to leave certain people, certain aspects behind. Now, this balancing of energies, I would say, is going to come with a little bit of a tension, a little bit of a conflict. We have to recognize where it is that we're out of whack in order to put ourselves into whack. And with Mars being retrograde, we're really questioning what it is that we're passionate about, who it is that we're passionate about, what makes us excited, who makes us excited, where it is that we have new desires that we really want to pursue. And because, Mars is retrograde in Gemini energy, we're really divided on what that means for us. There is this gap between what it is that we're leaving behind and what it is that we haven't quite started as of yet. And all of this is definitely going to do a number on our heart chakra. If you haven't listened to this week's Ascension forecast, I'm going to recommend you do so. We have a lot of releasing, a lot of purging, a lot of overriding happening in our heart space. And this is definitely one aspect that we are going to feel right in the feels. The moon is going to go ahead, make a positive interaction with Mercury, a positive interaction with Venus, because of course, Mercury and Venus, very close to each other in the cosmos right now in this Capricorn energy. Mercury moves a little bit faster than Venus does, but Venus is moving forward while Mercury is moving backwards. The moon, being in Aries energy, has us all riled up, all fired up. We're ready to move forward. We're ready to make some changes. We're ready to cut off anything that is going to hinder our progress in moving forward. But also keep in mind that we are approaching the first quarter moon that will take place here in just a couple of hours, which means that there is an intensity building. Now, having the moon make positive aspects with both Mercury and Venus means that we are sorting things out. We are getting on the right page. Our heart and our head are in alignment. Our wants, needs, and desires are coming full circle. We are realizing what it is that we have to move away from in order to actually have the space to move closer to some aspects, to some people, to some contracts, to some storylines that are calling our name, that are making us excited, that are renewing our inspiration, our passion once again. Here's where things get a little bit complicated. The moon is going to semi-square, which is a little bit of a tension point, with Saturn, the Lord of Karma, who is in Aquarius energy. This is going to bring the vibe down. This is going to bring Negative Nancy out to play. This is going to bring Debbie Downer out to play as well, because suddenly we realize we can't move forward. Suddenly there are no actions to take. Suddenly we're questioning our whole inspiration, our whole passion, our whole desire. And Saturn, being the Lord of Karma, ruling over roles and responsibilities, systems and foundations, is like a Debbie Downer, right? You got to slow down. You got to take your time. You got to think logical. You got to think practical. One foot in front of the other. And of course, the moon in Aries wants nothing to do with that. We just want to go balls to the walls. We want everything to have happened yesterday. And Saturn just likes to remind us that we have to be methodical in our calculations with our energy, right? Energy management with Aries energy. Saturn's like, hey, you have a whole freaking new foundation you have to build. You can't just, jump across the bridge before testing the foundation underneath it. You could fall through the bridge. You could fall into the water. You could be swept away. Saturn wants to make sure that we're taking our time. We're putting one foot in front of the other and that we're building something solid, something strong enough to actually house the dreams, the goals, the ambitions that we're looking to actually go after. So this is a little bit of a whoa it up a smash, pump the brakes, if you will, which really puts us emotionally in a frustrated state because, of course, we don't want to slow down. We just want to go charging forward. 8:21 p.m., again, Eastern Standard Time, the moon squares the sun. This is our first quarter moon in Aries. And if you are a Moon Guide subscriber and follow along with the stages of manifesting, you would know that we have to go back to the new moon in Capricorn that we just had on the 23rd, where we should have been projecting ourselves so freaking far into the future in order to identify our goals, our dreams, that we have to go back and identify what it is that we were focused on. Now, the first quarter moon always brings us to an aha moment point, an action point, a decision point. And like I said, we're not really in a great time to actually exert a lot of energy out in the external world, but we are doing a lot in our inner realm. And the moon represents the past. The sun represents the future. And it couldn't be even more opposite because, of course, the Aries energy doesn't want to look back. It wants to move forward. And the Capricorn energy that the sun is in wants to kind of look back in order to gain perspective on how it is that we should move forward. So there is a little bit of a conflict there, but out of a conflict, out of a tension point, we do have an aha moment. There is some kind of resolution. There is some kind of progress in our inner realm to identify where our energy is needed the most. What do we have to wrap up? What do we have to cut the cord with in the past in order to free us up to focus our sights on the future? The moon is going to sextile Mars. Mars rules over Aries energy, so this is going to be very intense. A sextile is a good energy, so we have that going for us. Emotionally speaking, we are inspired. We are excited. We are passionate. We are aggressive in trying to identify what it is that we want to pursue from here. This is always a good energy, a good indication that the first quarter moon definitely gave us a lot to think about, gave us a lot of insight. This means that we're hyped up, we're passionate about something, we're excited about something, we're aligning with one thought, one idea, one choice, one path, one direction over the other. We are gaining momentum. And there's no better energy than that, especially seeing as we wrap the day up with the moon in Aries, making a very, very positive aspect with Pluto, the great transformer himself. This means that there is a huge shift going on in our inner realm, especially where our emotions are concerned, where our feelings are concerned, where our intuition is concerned. And the shift is a definite needed one because we have to get our heart in check, our head in check before we can engage the physical body to take action in the physical realm, to start aligning pieces in our external realm to mirror back what it is that we've already arrived at in our inner realm. The Plutonian energy is an empowerment energy. We are hopped up. We are taking control. We are standing in our power, standing in our authority. This energy, especially blended with this aggressive Aries energy, is really amping up our, I'm going to say, tenacity, our inspiration, our motivation, our determination to set our sights on what it is that is getting us excited and passionate, and to stop at nothing in order for us to actually bring these particular elements to life.